Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this boho halter top. You can find the materials needed listed in the description below, as well as links to the written pattern and other details and helpful resources. But let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to begin with making our chain. You're going to make your starting loop and get that onto your hook. And I'm working on a size medium large in this video, so I'm going to chain 135 chains. So you're going to yarn over your hook and pull it right through that loop. And that's a chain. So you're going to yarn over, pull through your loop, yarn over, pull through, and you're just going to keep on going until you reach the chain that you need for your size. As I said, I do offer from sizes extra small up to extra large. That's detailed in the description below, and there is a link to the written pattern. But for this one, because I'm working on a medium large size, I'm doing a chain of 135. Right, so just keep on going, working on your chain to whatever count that you need based on the pattern that you're following. If you're following mine, again, it's 135 chains. Just keep working on your chain and then come back once you reach it. Okay, so now that we're reached our chain, we're going to start working in the second chain from the hook. All right, so you're just going to single crochet, push your hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop. You've got 2 loops, yarn over, pull through both loops. All right, so we're going to single crochet into the next chain, push your hook through, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops on your hook. And you're just going to keep on going, working a single crochet into each chain all the way down your row. By the time that you get to the end of this row, you should have a stitch count that's 1 less than the starting chain that you made, because we started working in our second chain from the hook. So for me, I should have 134 stitches at the end of this row. And you're just going to keep on going, working your single crochets in each stitch or each chain all the way down, and then when you get to the end, come back. Okay, so now that we're at the end, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And now you're just going to go ahead and work 1 single crochet into every single stitch all the way down your row. Okay, so just work 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way down your row. And if you're working on the same size that I'm working on, again, which is medium large, you're going to go ahead and do this. So right now this is one row of single crochets into every single stitch. You're going to, after you finish this row, you're going to do this 18 more times. Okay, so keep going till you get to the end. You're going to chain 1, turn your work, and just repeat this row that we did 18 more times, and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished those rows, we're going to go ahead and work on our next step. Okay, so we're going to chain 1, turn our work. We're going to begin this next row with a single crochet decrease. Okay, so we're going to take these 2 stitches and make them into 1. So how you do that, you're going to push your hook in the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, hold on to those loops on your hook, and you're going to push your hook into the very next stitch beside that one. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you've got 3 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull right through all 3 loops. So now you've taken these 2 stitches and turned it into 1 stitch. So now you're going to go ahead and work 1 single crochet into every single stitch all the way down the row, except for the last 2 stitches, because we're going to end the row with a single crochet decrease as well. So go ahead and do that. Come back when you have your last 2 stitches. Okay, so now we're left with our last 2 stitches in the row. We're going to work a single crochet decrease to end the row. Right, go into the next stitch as well, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1, and turn your work. Now we're going to start our next row with a single crochet decrease. Okay, and we're going to single crochet into every single stitch down the row, and except for the last two, and we're going to end the row with a single crochet decrease. We're going to go ahead and work a number of rows like this. Okay, so you're going to start and end each row with a single crochet decrease, and in between you're just going to work one single crochet in every stitch. You're just going to keep on going like that until you reach a total stitch count in your row of 28, and then come back. All right, so now that you've finished all of those decrease rows, you should be seeing the shape of your halter top. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the next step here. We're working on where we're going to put the neck tie through. So we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn your work. And for this next row, we're going to be working into the back loop of our stitches. So we're not working through the entire stitch. We're only working through the back loop, and we're going to work treble crochets, all right, across this whole row. I'm just going to zoom in here so you can get a better look of the back loop. So, oh, that's a poor view. Okay, here we go. Just in the back loop here, okay? So you're going to yarn over twice. Push your hook over the stitch into the back loop. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. And that's a treble crochet in the back loop. So we're going to do it again. Yarn over twice, push your hook over the stitch into the back loop only, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. So you're going to go ahead and just keep on working back loop treble crochets into every single stitch all the way down your row, and then come back. Okay, so now you finished that. We're going to go ahead and now work our next row. Chain 1, turn your work. It might be a little bit tricky here, so stick with me. All right, we're going to be working back loop treble crochets again. So let's go ahead and just start off with our back loop treble crochet into this first stitch. It's a little bit tricky after we've already worked in the other loop there, but okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this first treble crochet. Now we're going to go into the stitch from the top of the single crochet into that stitch at the top of the treble crochet from the previous row. Now we're going to work another back loop treble crochet, and a single crochet into that next stitch, which is at the top of the treble crochet from the previous row, and then another back loop treble crochet. And we're going to keep going back and forth like that, working a back loop treble crochet and then a single crochet into the next stitch, which is on the top of the treble crochet from the previous row. The reason for this is we're creating that loop. We're closing the top. So go ahead and do that all the way down and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished that entire row, we're just going to fasten this off. All right, so go ahead and grab your scissors and fasten that off, pull that little tail end through to secure it. So now you can see what you've done here. I'm going to try and push my hook through and show you. So you've created that little closure at the top there, and that gives us space to put our necktie when we get to that point. So let's just set that aside for now. We're going to go and work on the bottom part of our top. So now we're just going to go to the bottom part of our work, and we're going to be working our V-stitch rows. Okay. So reattach your yarn into the bottom corner. Go ahead and get your hook in that stitch there to hold your place, and make your starting loop again. And get that on the hook. And we're going to just pull it right through the stitch here and chain 3. All right, we're going to double crochet into that first stitch there. The chain 3 is counting as a double crochet, so technically we've got 2 here right now. All right. And now we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, skip those 2, and we're going to double crochet into that following stitch. chain 1, double crochet in that same stitch again. Skip the next 2 stitches and double crochet into the following stitch. Chain 1, double crochet in that same stitch again. Skip the following 2, double crochet in that following stitch, chain 1, double crochet in there again, and you're just going to keep on doing this all the way down your row until you get to the end. Okay, when you get to the end, come on back. All right, so now we're at the end here. Just do 1 double crochet into that very last stitch if you're left with just a random one there like I am. Chain 4 and turn your work. We're now going to be working around the chain 1 spaces from the previous row. So double crochet around that first chain 1 space from the previous row, chain 1, double crochet around that same space again. Right? And we're just going to go ahead and do it around the next chain 1 space from the previous row. A double crochet, chain 1, double crochet again around the same space. And you're just going to keep on going, working these V-stitches around the chain 1 spaces from the previous row all the way down and then come back. So now we finished all of those V-stitches. We're going to chain 4, turn our work, and repeat that last row one more time. So you're just going to go ahead and work those V-stitches around the chain 1 spaces from the previous row all the way down your work again. So you should have a total of 3 rows of V-stitch right now. Okay, so go ahead and work that row. And when you get to the end, then come on back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, we finished our 3 rows of V-stitch, and now we're going to move on to the next step. So chain 1, turn your work, and for this next row, we're going to be working a single crochet into each stitch down the row. So we're going to be skipping over the chain 1 spaces and we're only working into the stitches. Okay. So looking for your stitches there, you're going to work a single crochet into that first stitch. And a single crochet into the next stitch, skipping over the chain 1 space and working single crochet into the following stitches, skip over the chain 1 and working your single crochet. So you're just going to go ahead just like that, keep on working your single crochets into each stitch down the row, skipping over those chain 1 spaces. When you get to the end, come back. All right, so now we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. You're going to double crochet into that first stitch, and that chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Okay, so technically it's like we have 2 right now in our first stitch because of the chain 3. That matters in a minute. Chain 1, double crochet again in the same stitch. Chain 1, double crochet again in the same stitch. Chain 1, double crochet again in that same stitch. So now you should have a total of 5 double crochets in that one stitch. Now you're going to skip the next 2 stitches and single crochet into the following stitch. And then in the very next stitch, we're going to work our double crochet, chain 1, double crochet again in the same stitch, chain 1. We're going to do that 3 more times till we have a total of 5 double crochets in that same stitch, each one separated with a chain 1. Okay, skip the next 2, single crochet in the following stitch, and you're just going to keep on going, working this all the way down and then come back. All right, so now that we're at the end, At the end of our row here, we're going to go ahead and if you've got this little opening, depending on the count that you have done, you can just go ahead and work a slip stitch into that last stitch just to clean up your edge. Okay, depending on the stitch count that you're following or the sizing that you're doing. And we're going to go ahead and just fasten it off. Grab your scissors, fasten that off, pull that little tail end through to secure, and we're going to move on to the next step, which is going to be for the back tie of our top. Okay, so now we're going to reattach our yarn right here where our row of single crochets meets our V stitches. Okay, so get your hook in there and go ahead and make another starting loop to get it on your hook. And now keep in mind that we're about to be working up the side of our work, so it's not into actual stitches, more along the side of the rows. So go ahead and pull that through. We're going to chain one. We're going to work a single crochet into the same space that we just attached at. And then we're going to single crochet up the side 4 more times. All right, so you should have a total of 5 single crochets. Oh my goodness, sorry. Had a little bit of an issue there. All right. 3, 4, and 5 single crochets. We're going to chain 1, turn our work, and single crochet into each stitch down that row, those same 5 stitches we just worked. Okay, so 1 single crochet into each of those 5 stitches. Four and 5. Okay, so you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. And you're going to go ahead and repeat that last row of just working 1 single crochet in each stitch. You're going to do that 39 more times and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished those rows of single crochet, you're now going to chain 1 and turn your work, and we're going to work a single crochet decrease. Okay, and then 1 single crochet into that following stitch and another single crochet decrease. All right, so now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work, and we're going to single crochet once into each of those 3 stitches. Okay, now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We're going to work 1 single crochet again into each of those 3 stitches. Chain 1, turn your work, and you're just going to go ahead and continue on with working 1 single crochet into each of those 3 stitches, chain 1, turn your work 29 more times. All right, so go ahead and work those rows and then come back. All right, so now that you've finished all of those rows, we're going to go ahead and fasten this off. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just get to the other side where those single crochets meet the V stitches. And we're going to reattach our yarn here and repeat those same steps for the other side. Right, so make our starting loop, get that onto our hook, and pull it through, chain 1, single crochet into that same space that we just attached our yarn, and single crochet 4 more times up the side of our work. So we have a total of 5 single crochets. Chain 1, turn your work. Single crochet once into each of those 5 stitches. Chain 1 and turn your work. And you're just going to go ahead and do that 39 more times and then come back. Okay, so now we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and single crochet decrease. Single crochet once into the next stitch, single crochet decrease, okay, chain 1, turn your work, single crochet once into each of those 3 stitches, chain 1, turn your work, and go ahead and do that 29 more times. All right, so now that you're done all of those rows of your single crochets, fasten that off, pull that little bit through. And we're going to go ahead and work on the necktie now. So you can just set your work aside, create your starting loop, and get that onto your hook. And we're going to work a chain of 95. So make a chain 95. Go ahead and do that and then come back. All right, so now you have your chain of 95. In the second chain from the hook, we're going to work a single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and then into each chain all the way down the row. You're going to work 1 single crochet. So go ahead and work those single crochets into each chain all the way down, just working 1 single crochet into every single chain. When you get to the end of this row, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to repeat it again. Do 1 more row of single crochets and then come back. All right, so now that you finished your 2 rows in total of single crochet for the necktie, we're going to fasten off our work at the end here. Okay. So you've got your necktie completed. Go ahead and grab your work and go up to the top of it there where we did all those treble crochets and single crochets. Remember that bit that I was showing you? There we go. Now carefully weave your hook. It could be a little bit tricky, but I mean, you can do this however you want to. I just find this to be the easiest way. I weave my hook into each, like all the way down. I just make sure it makes it through right in between each of those treble crochets. Nice and clean. See, I even missed one right there, so I'm just going to go back. All right, so once you have your hook all the way through, I just like to grab one end of the necktie and pull it through. It could be a little bit awkward, a little bit tricky, but this so far is the best way that I found to do it. So just get that to the end, and then you can just grab it with your fingers and pull it the rest of the way through so that it's even on both sides. See? It's like a nice little ruched kind of look of a necktie. And you're just going to grab your yarn needle now because, of course, we have all of those tail ends, those loose tail ends that we need to weave in and out of our stitches of our work. To hide them, you're just going to go ahead, weave them in and out, and just to hide and secure your work. And I'll just do one of them here with you and show you how I do it, if I can thread that needle. Okay, so we're going to get that through, and I just kind of randomly, it's no rhyme or reason to it, I just sort of like randomly weave it in and out just to really hide the tail end and secure my work. And there's always a little bit left. I don't worry about doing it to the whole thing. I'll just go get my scissors and fasten that off. You just really need to weave it in and out of a couple, fasten it off. So go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and do that for all of mine, and you can do the same, and you're done. I hope you enjoyed this pattern. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a look at my channel to see the other video tutorials also available. And don't forget about those helpful links in the description below.